Thank you for joining Rooted in Christ. I'm so excited to have you guys here. Me and Danielle started this show we've been doing this for a while now.
About 7 weeks or so.
So it's really exciting. We have two ladies that are here with us, and please introduce yourselves.
My name is Ray of Hope.
And I am the fabulous, wonderful Rochelle Ray.
Yes, queen.
So we're just coming together as sisters in Christ, just sharing His Word, praying, lifting each other up in what one another are doing in our personal and professional lives. So this is just a part of it, and we just want to dive into some of the issues that are going on in the world, just like depression and the quarantine, the racial issues that are going on in the world. We just want to touch on a little bit of everything that everyone is having to deal with on a day-to-day during these times.
And I want to talk about the two of you. You guys have businesses. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing right now.
Okay, so for example, there's more than one, isn't there?
Yes.
Busy
The first one I'm very happy about is priority, where the question is, what is your priority? And it has to do with teas. I want to say my first beginnings of it was very experimental, especially when it came to natural health, especially for the body, because a lot of things nowadays is being synthetically made, and there's too many side effects to it. So I wanted something that God put on this earth. He put the herbs, He put the plants, He put the seeds, the vegetation. We're meant to cultivate that and take care of it so that we put it into our bodies with the proper nutrition.
Right.
So that being said, there is a whole line that will be launched very soon, and I'm very excited for it because I'm on the verge of finishing the women's formula. Focus on us.
And then everything else comes out.
We're more important.
The women.
Some of the focal points, especially right now, would be immunity. Everyone's always lacking in their energy.
Yep.
Women's formula, calming. People have anxieties of what's been going on. Recovery. So that's definitely in play. And not only that, it's bumped up to a point where we're including fruit in it, because with the tea and fruit and several other ingredients, it's almost like it's better than a multivitamin, to be quite honest, because you're absorbing it all at once to be able to have everything function in your body.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm forgetting the other one.
I was getting ready to say, don't forget about it.
Is called the Cultural Arts Foundation, where we use movement and arts to be able to encourage children or anyone disabled, or anyone for that matter. It doesn't matter if it's coming from painting, movement, culinary arts, to express themselves, give them that empowerment to be able to be conducive. Right now, everyone's kind of enclosed and not sure where to go or how can they progress. Well, you can. Yes, you can. I'm not fond of the word can't, and especially with kids, because they can. They are capable of doing things. They have fingers, they have toes, and everything. We teach them. We have to. It is our duty to teach them as mothers and fathers that they have capabilities even when they're small.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I love it. I want to start off. I'm Rochelle again. Thank you guys, Dee and Hope, for allowing us to come on your amazing show that's gonna take off, and I know it, and having us as a special guest. I want to announce about both my foundation as well as the business Twice Bake. That's our for-profit business
which I love, because you've been on the news too.
Yes, I have.
What channel is
News
that?
3.
News 3 in Vegas.
Yes. We get ready to put that on the site, on the website, so y'all be able to see your girl on News
And what's
3.
the website?
www.twicebakedlv.com.
Okay, and your website?
Our website will be launching soon, but my contact is 462-3933.
Okay.
And then and Kat, same number.
Okay.
Good.
And the website, do they have a website?
theculturalarts.org.
Awesome. Okay, continue.
Okay, so Twice Baked is near and dear to my heart as well as the family.
And to my stomach.
Yes.
True story.
For real.
Yes.
And there's vegan options, which
It is.
Yeah.
So we started the company back in 2015, and we started at the back of our trunk. Now, I was a licensed hairstylist, and of course, Hope knows because she was one of my clients. Okay, for 25 years, and I would do an appreciation every year and invite my customers to let them know, hey, I appreciate y'all, come through. Hope never made it this way. What you got to say?
nothing.
Okay, here we go.
I'll go to the next one. The next one.
Okay, and so they said, who catered this? And I'm like, excuse me, I catered this. I did. They were like, girl, you doing good. So we tried it out in 2015, and it was an accidental success.
Wow.
So we moved forward with getting all of our licensings and things of that nature in place. And Twice Baked have been growing ever since. So we specialize and we're home of the loaded gourmet baked potatoes. Now you've had the traditional ones where it's just bacon, sour cream, cheese.
Yeah.
We took it to a whole nother level. It's Twice Baked going wild, y'all. And it's Twice Baked going wild when we put on that toppings of things that you love and you like.
Yeah.
We take care of all of our meat eaters, our vegans, and our vegetarians. So such things such as shrimp, lobster, bacon, carne asada, chicken, and for my vegans, we got the vegan sour cream, the vegan cheese, broccoli, cauliflower, you name it. It's just baked potatoes going wild.
And the herbs that you use, you have your own garden, which was so exciting for me because when I came over here to your house, the back was just all your own garden, and you did that yourself.
Me and my husband.
Which, yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I got included.
Two become one. But no, when I saw your garden, I was like, why can't I do this? I want to do this. But I think it's you have to, first of all, it's not even really a green thumb. You just have to do it.
Okay, so I'm so happy you said that. Now, what I dedicated to that garden is why it's flourishing. The name of it is Grown from the Throne. And I personally didn't think I had a green thumb, but because God poured his little thing on it, it just flourished and prospered.
That's usually how it goes.
And so I was in a learning stage, even with my garden, to know the things that I need to plant with and what I don't.
Yeah.
So it's been just growing and prospering ever since, and I'm so thankful to God about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's so encouraging too, because I always wanted to have my own garden, but I kill every plant that comes into my home. And I think I'm gonna try to start a pot and dedicate it to God and name it and pray over
There
it
you
and
go.
see where it goes.
And read a book.
Yeah, read a book.
There's Green Thumb for Dummies or something like that.
That, and also what plants love is you to talk to them and feel you. So
That's
you have
cute.
a relationship with them.
That's cute.
So I go out there and my husband like, who you out there talking to?
Girl, I know. I be like, I'm trying to get a hold of you. I'm talking to my players. I can't talk to you. Answer the phone.
It's definitely a good relationship to have because all living things communicate in very unique ways. So, for example, hearing that vibration does make a difference. There have been tests where there's some rough sounds as compared to some that are soft or soothing and calming. That there's exponential growth between the two
That is
in
true.
comparison. So yes. When it comes to the communication and bonding and relationship between individuals, that still applies to all of God's living things. It doesn't matter if it's a plant, an animal, or anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
I agree with that. So I really want to touch on our personal testimonies, just because I think it's important to engage with whoever's watching and just to really get them to understand who we are as people. I like that your tea, you said, talks about it helps with anxiety.
Yes.
So what is it specifically that you use, like what kind of herbs that would help someone to be calm? Is that kind of the things that you would put in them, like the sleepy time tea, like the eucalyptus, or
Eucalyptus.
And lilac and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay,
Lavender.
so for example, the anxiety or calming, a lot of them can be like if you use lavender or chamomile or valerian. Valerian is quite potent. Now, the odor may be unpleasant, but that's why you combine it with
Something
other
else.
things that that actually complement it. So that, for example, that anxiety, it doesn't matter what type of anxiety, if it's nervousness or something that just triggered you right in that moment, they come all cohesively together just like DNA, so that the whole body is able to absorb it very well.
What made you start all this? How did you get on this path?
I want to say it came naturally, especially with my kids, because my concern, it actually started with my kids having skin issues, eczema. So it had to start from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
It was what we were putting into our bodies, but in addition to that, I had to throw caution to the wind, come to find out some of the things that you think that is safe for your babies or your kids, as a matter of fact, is not. For example, one of the ingredients just in toothpaste alone is rat poison.
What?
Yes.
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 It is rat poison that you're brushing your teeth with. So why am I going to do this once or twice a day?
I think they've been trying to kill us for a long time. It's like with a cup of noodles. That's my favorite thing to eat, but it's wrapped in styrofoam
Yes.
or whatever.
It's
and then
nicely packaged.
Yeah.
They say it's good for you.
Yeah.
It's gonna whiten your teeth, but as a matter of fact, you're absorbing it into your body, and who knows what kind of side effects it's actually doing. Wow. But visually looking, my teeth are great, but what's going on with the rest of the body that you don't know about?
Right.
So the alternative to that I was given was to just make it naturally. He put baking soda, he put coconut oil.
Yes.
Yeah.
That simple.
Peroxide.
2
Yes.
ingredients.
It's so gross, but I use it anyway.
Yeah.
I really do. When I go to the dentist, they do the peroxide,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh. But she was like, you need to do this. And I was like, no. She's like, yes, I do.
I want to be minty fresh.
Like I want the mint. I like the rat poison. It tastes better. It's a little minty fresh.
Needless to say, for example, the baking soda, it neutralizes. Not only does it neutralize the odors, but for example, the pH as an overall. So it can spread like using as your deodorant as well.
Yeah.
For example,
that too.
coconut oil has antifungal properties. So anything that's growing, any bacteria, it makes sense to put the two together so that it combats anything that's in your realm.
Okay. Yeah, I love that.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna start looking at the ingredients in my.
I'm not gonna say
Well,
rat
not
poison.
that part. I was gonna say, it's not gonna say rat
That's
poison.
another word for it. I'm gonna get some rat poison. I'm gonna look at the back of the rat poison,
Go and
and I'm gonna
Google.
copy and paste that and put it on the. We'll go see.
You just
We'll
have to
go
start
see.
leaning more towards a natural
Natural,
products.
holistic, yeah, yeah. That's
It's
I
what's
like
best
that
for
because
us.
I used I almost broke my ankle, and you told me I've never heard of this, but you told me to do the coconut oil and the ginger.
Yes.
Heat it up and then put it on my foot. The
Yes.
swelling went. I mean, there was no swelling,
Good.
and it swelled back up because I started thinking it was okay to just go and walk, but I shouldn't have did that. So the swelling came back, but the point is, it worked. I did the ginger and the olive oil, heated up and put it on, left it on there for 24 hours, but it worked, and I was so grateful for that. So then I started Googling a lot of holistic stuff so I can stop taking Motrin. When I PMS, I take ibuprofen because it's a blood thinner, and it's better in that context, it's a little bit better for my body because I'm prone to blood clots. So then I take ibuprofen, but now I'm looking into another way of how I can feed something else into my body that's natural.
Yeah.
Yes, because taking the ibuprofen over time is rough on your
Stomach.
On your stomach.
And I already
And your
have
liver.
stomach
Yes, and your
issues.
liver. Yes.
Yeah, and the only thing that needs to be in my liver is the mimosas and other stuff. I don't want to ruin it for anything else.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. Saints.
Amen. So you were doing hair for
25 years.
you were in my head for 12 of those.
Yes.
So why did you stop? What was that inkling that
I'm
made
so
you
happy
stop?
you asked that question. So prior to me returning in 2018, I kept on hearing 4 walls. Like, get out the 4 walls. And I'm like, if you're referring to the 4 walls of this hair, Jesus? And basically he was like, yes. And I was like, yeah. And then I got on the car with him. I was like, yeah, I'm tired of being in these four walls. I got gifts too. That
Jesus set me free.
I got gifts out here in these streets that God should be sharing with people. And that's what made me, once I started Twice Baked, I just felt like my wings just busted out and spread it out. Oh. Now, I didn't get a chance to tell you about Dream Up. And Dream Up is near and dear to my heart because I was in a domestic violence relationship. So it's near to me for the simple fact of that. And my antidote would be self-esteem. Because once your self-esteem comes to an all-time high, you know that you're not going to allow certain things that's going to take place with yourself.
Yeah.
So love of self is extremely important. Self-worth, self-confidence, I can go on and on. It's very important.
Well, and us as women,
yes,
we lack that because we give our self-esteem to others, which is our relationships, our friendships, our children. We're constantly bearing for others, and it's hard to get that.
And at one point in your life, you have to do a self-evaluation and say to yourself, it's time for self-love and self-care.
Yep.
To be able to build yourself up enough or overly that whenever you dealing with people, they're not taken from you because you 100 on your own.
Yeah, you need your cup filled. You can't have it. You can't continue to pour out into certain areas in your life and not get it back.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to that, once that cup is full, there's always going to be an abundance. So
yes, overflow.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And so it is our responsibility to give that time and give it to other people, like we're doing right now.
Yes.
It's important to fill others' cups and then fill our own. But that has a lot more to do with self-care because I think we forget to take care of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. What?
She said true story.
Yeah. I was like, she was like,
I got scared a little bit.
I'm sorry. I was like, what? I don't want to miss it, girl. You talk so quiet, louder. So okay,
or do you talk so loud?
No, I think it's a little bit both. It's a little bit both. Louder, loud. I'm loud, and you're soft, so it works together. It does. It really does. So, so dream up.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
Because you're doing a bunch of different things with that.
Thank you, Jesus, for all of the stuff that I do, that you continue to keep me awoke and not fall asleep in the midst of it.
Yes.
Okay, Dream Up is a foundation that was founded by myself and another person. Her name is Jay, and we help individuals that is being abused. And a lot of people don't know out here, I just want to be me. A lot of people don't know out here in these streets that even men is being abused.
Oh, verbally,
physically,
mentally, physically.
All that.
Yep.
And so we take these individuals and bring them into a program, our community, where we're going to be starting some tiny houses, hopefully in 2020.
Oh, that's awesome.
In Jesus' name.
Jesus' name.
Because, I keep donating. So
it's
a nice tax write-off. I just keep
to everyone that be donating.
Yeah, tax write-off.
And so we're going to build a tiny house community where we're going to have a plethora of programs where they can be able to have self-confidence, self-worth, be able to see what they love and what they like. And it's transitional where we're not giving you a fish, we are teaching you to fish.
Yes.
And when I say that, of course, everybody knows what that means, is that I want you to be able to fish for a lifetime.
Yeah. And be able to find a way to take care of yourself.
That's right. It's going to either be pitiful or powerful. You're going to pick one of those two.
Yes.
We're going to do our part extensively to try to pull you out of that thing, but overall, it's you that makes that ultimate decision.
Because there are some times that people don't believe in God and they choose the pity route. And that's happens more often than I would like to admit, but sometimes we stay in the pity because to crawl out of it, I don't know if I'm the only one. Yeah,
it's hard
to get out of the pity.
I get it.
Because you're so engulfed in self, and you feel like crap. You don't feel like a good person. You're taking on the abuse. You don't want to,
And sometimes climbing out of it,
It's the hardest part.
it's so hard. It's emotionally draining.
Yes.
And physically,
Yes.
sometimes things get worse. And it's just really hard to get out of that.
Yes.
It takes a lot of strength.
I want to go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to add to that. I have a family member that just was released from prison, and I talked to him and I told him, I said, I need for you to make a decision to hang out with people that make you uncomfortable. And he said, what do you mean by that? I said, to be out of the environment that you're used to and put you in a whole nother environment that you is unfamiliar grounds and all that, that's going to make you feel uncomfortable for the simple fact they're going to places that's for a betterment,
Yeah.
for enlightenment, for more of a better life,
More successful than
more
you are.
successful, thankful.
Yes.
Exactly. And so I said, you have to start hanging around that. He said, oh, okay, that makes sense.
You're right, because one of
It
the
has to
things
be
I
uncomfortable,
went to,
so it goes with what you said.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I used to tell myself, you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because it is that extra step that always makes us nervous.
Yes.
I'm going to lean forward, but do I really want to step forward?
Yes.
So
It's the hardest part.
It is.
one of those things that I'm trying to understand and transition to is stepping into who I really am. And because of the fact that he gave so many gifts to each and every single one of us,
Yeah.
it's not just one, there's multiple. So he
Correct.
knows our potential because he gave it to us in the first place.
Yeah.
So one of them, yes, is a voice. It doesn't matter if it's speaking or singing
Yeah.
or just motivating
Or encouraging, or being a teacher, or there's many gifts. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and all the times in my life where I've grown the most, I was in the most uncomfortable situation that I've ever been in. So in uncomfortable,
Like this one right now.
uncomfortable situations bring growth,
Yes.
Yeah.
and that's just
I don't know
the
why.
honest
I don't know
truth.
how that works though. It's really weird because when we're most out of who we naturally are and we're out of our element, and it's uncomfortable, but in that moment you know that you're growing.
I feel like it's like fight or flight. Like you're forced. You're like put in this environment.
You're
and
like,
you're like,
"Ah, I don't want it.
now do something.
Do something different." You're like, "Ah."
It's equivalent to you standing at the edge and it's time for you to jump.
Ooh. And there's nothing. You can't see
You have
anything.
to step out on faith
Whew.
and everything
Yeah.
that's within you, that your wings is not going to fail you at this moment.
Yeah.
So that's it in a nutshell. It's you leaping and taking that jump, knowing that you're going to fly, but you're just so scared. You're like, oh, okay. Can I do this? You start questioning yourself.
And I just
You.
want to be clear here. This is a metaphor.
Yes.
We really don't want you jumping all over here. I mean, this
No,
this is TV. We got to be careful. We don't want you to jump off a cliff now. But if you do, have a parachute. Okay? And our parachute is Jesus Christ in this metaphor. So just don't say you heard it. Well, they said you could jump off with faith. No, that's a metaphor.
Thank you, Hope.
Yeah, of course. We don't want no liability issues now.
Amen.
So I want you to tell me about your past. I know that you're very close home when she talks about abuse. So I want to dive into that.
Which is why I was so excited when we were teaming up with her. I was in a domestic abusive relationship for my entire adult life. Had children with this man. It was physical. It was mental. It was sexual at times. And it was a really tough time that I had to go through. And it wasn't until it's crazy because I didn't even realize I was in an abusive relationship.
Yeah, I want to know about the defining moment.
Yes. So the defining moment, God just kept telling me to push him back. And my abuser.
Okay.
Who is my ex-husband. So he kept on telling me to push him back. I got baptized, and literally I kept hearing he doesn't need to come. He doesn't need to come. Because we have children together, so we do a lot of family activities, and we were still connected even though we weren't together anymore at this point. And I just kept hearing that message, and over time, and the more I would push him away, the more I would see the things he had done to me and how horrible and not normal and
You'd wake
the
up.
excuses that I made for
Yeah.
him.
Yes.
Oh, if I wouldn't have done this, he wouldn't have done that.
Yep.
It just started to sound crazy. And eventually, I saw him for who he really was instead of the person I had created in my mind.
Yes. Yes.
And without God's guidance, I would have never gotten to that point. Like,
Yeah.
I would have fallen back into the cycle again, for sure. I tell you all the time, if it wasn't for certain things that God has control over and it's outside of my control, I feel like God keeps on, even when I feel weak, because this is very new to me, not being
Being single.
and not and putting up boundaries with him.
Yes.
If it wasn't for God's guidance, I would have fallen back into a relationship with this man. And you talk about self-esteem.
Yes.
I'm a confident person, but when it comes to him, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Got it.
For the longest time when I was younger, it was the financial thing. He was the provider. So I was like, I can't even go anywhere and take care of my kids. So I would stay there because financially I couldn't take care of myself and my children.
Right.
And that's why your program is so wonderful, because not only are you giving them the fish, you're teaching them how to fish.
Yes.
Because a lot of women are stuck in domestic abusive relationships, not only because of their self-esteem issues, but
No, it's because of the money.
it's because of the money.
Yes.
And they feel hopeless, and like, nobody wants. That's something that the person keeps over their head. Like, well, if you leave, you don't have any money, you're not going to be able to have the kids.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I can't not have my children. They're my everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you stay in a abusive, horrible relationship that you're teaching your children is okay.
Yes.
It's just a horrible cycle. It's
Yeah.
it's like a generational curse, I feel like.
It is.
And I just don't. I'm glad that I've broken through, and that I can see where I can see God's love, and I know, even though I'm single, I'm excited.
What does that mean? Even though I'm single, ain't nothing wrong with being single.
I'm excited for one day for a man who is a godly man, a man that's going to treat me right. Like, I know what I deserve now.
Yeah.
And I obviously I didn't before.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes me so happy.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I think it takes me, even, I've been married since I was 22, one of those ages. When I got married, before that, I was dealing with all this drama about self-esteem and loving myself, and I didn't have any of that. And so when I got married, I took that baggage with me, right? Because I didn't know how to let go of that. I wasn't taught how to do that. School only teaches us so many things, right?
Correct.
Doesn't talk about self-care and self-esteem and all of that stuff. But even being a Christian, I think I got saved at 14 or 15, I heard his voice, but I didn't know what to do with that. You know, I knew that I was supposed to follow these rules. I knew there was the commandments, and I knew what God wanted for me. And he was a Christian. And so we ended up, after 3 years, we got married. I was still dealing with, I had depression, I had anxiety. I didn't know how to deal with any of those. All the medication that they would give me wasn't working. And that's why I'm excited about the holistic view of things. Because there's no need to take medication with a side effect
Put all that chemical
in your body.
Yes.
And then you have to deal with, if I take this pill, am I going to want to kill myself? Am I going to have to deal with that too? When I'm already dealing with it in this mentality issue that I have already. But it doesn't, the pills don't really help. And sometimes they do, but it's like, well, how am I supposed to save myself here?
And then, like you said, sometimes they make it worse. Literally, a side effect to antidepressants
Is
is suicide. Thoughts.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
that doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
sense.
And so dealing with that, I'm like, I have all this anxiety, I have this depression. And so what I love about God, the closer I became with God and accepting my relationship of It's called agape love, and when you guys have time, please look it up. But that's the love that I received from my husband, that I feel like I didn't deserve.
Yes.
I've never had that love before. I had that love with my mother and my sister, but I didn't have that agape love from any man ever. And so when I received it, my first thought was, I don't deserve this. This is not, I've done terrible things. I can't, and even going through my marriage that young, I was still tethered to my flesh. Hello. And I was still, worldly things, all this stuff, and I didn't know what was going on. But eventually, I still deal with anxiety and depression and PTSD due to other situations that happened, but it gets better the closer I am with God.
I love it.
I'm more in tune with my attitude of what I'm presenting. Like I was saying about, my menstrual cycle. Before my period, a good 8 to 10 days, I am not a normal human being.
I believe it.
I know it.
I know it too.
Like, are you taking your elderberry? Yeah, you're getting on my nerves.
Okay. You ain't gonna tell the camera, but she told me off.
Yeah, I did. And but when I did when I did, tell me I brought myself back. Like, wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Let me check myself.
And right away, instantly.
Yeah, like, hold on. You know what? I'm about to have my period, so I'm gonna need you to stay away from me for 5 to 6 more days.
Just a little space.
And then I'll come back to you and we'll have this conversation. But that is God. That's the Holy Spirit correcting.
The correction is the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Before you would just snap and be like,
it is what it is. Ain't nothing I can do about it. It's who I am in Jesus. No.
Guess what? I hope I still love you.
Yeah.
Call me in 5 to 7 days.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later. But that's what I'm saying. I feel like the closer I am with God, the more God will put a mirror to me and say, this is who you are. Here's the bad stuff. Here's the good stuff. They come together, but that bad stuff, we're gonna try to dig that out.
Yeah.
And the more closer I am with God, the more I open up my word,
Yes.
the more I search. His word says, "Seek me, you will find me."
Yes.
He keeps showing himself to me, and it used to be difficult to get out the bed in the mornings because my bed is my comfort. That's my safety place. And I don't know if anyone else struggles with that, but that is the hardest part. When the sun comes out, I'm like, I don't want to. Nope, I'm gonna sit in my bed, and then I'm in my bed and I have my Bible, and then after I'm done, God's like, there's things that you need to do today. You can't sit here. Your 3 children are looking at what you're doing, and they make little comments too, because kids, there's no filter. They don't care
what they want.
They really do. And my 9-year-old, she was like, well, all you do is sleep all day anyway, and I was like,
it's different.
Was that pill hard to
girl. I was like, it's quarantine. What does it matter? And my 9-year-old was like, it is quarantine, but there's still things to do. And I was like,
out the mouth of babes. Out the mouth of babes. Okay.
They will tell you the truth. They will say stuff, and you'll be like, I don't know if I can receive this right now.
Receive it.
Oh, Jesus. And so then I hurt my ankle, and I'm struggling. So now I'm stuck in bed because I get up, I can't, blah, 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 and then I get swollen again. But my whole point is being closer to God is put a real, just like as you were saved, the word talks about being blind and that not everyone is going to go through this tunnel. And the fact that he opened your brain, your mind, and your eyes to see the truth is basically what I'm trying to say. That when you get closer to God, your view of who he is and who you are and yourself, it starts to change.
Yes, it does.
And I do want to add, before I started to see and hear God tell me who this person really was, I did the Rooted. I was in Rooted with Hope. That's where we met.
Yeah.
In a church.
In a Christian setting.
Yes.
Of Yeah, they dig deep in
Yes, they do. And
even though you missed a couple classes.
it's okay. I was traveling.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Girl, I was jealous. I was like, you're supposed to be here.
I'm going out
Miserable with all of us.
But it was during the process where I was where I had already been baptized. I had given myself to God. I had decided that whatever His will for me is where I wanted to be. I was reading my Bible daily, and it was when I started doing these things is when the veil started to
Coming off
lifted.
your eyes.
Yes,
Exactly.
And I was just I was caught off guard. I was like, this man's
I'm not ready.
a monster.
Exactly.
I've been sleeping in the bed with a monster.
Yes.
So, at least to me, that's who he is.
I know exactly what
Unfortunately,
you're saying.
so
Yeah. He'll let you see the truth.
He'll open up your spiritual eyes, your
Yes.
spiritual nose, your spiritual mouth, and your spiritual ears, and your spiritual touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It is.
It
Taste
is.
and see that the Lord is good.
Always.
With that said, I just want to thank everyone who joined us today. Thank you, ladies, for being on the show. I'm so excited what God's going to do moving forward, and just to see Him work. I'm so excited. So thank you for joining.
Yes, thank
Rooted,
you
God
so
bless
much.
you, and have a great day.
Bye.